I am Jeffrey Rocoa. This is my Potter's Journal, and this is my video number 498, working up to my 500th video, making a series of vases. Well, this one is from my past. Okay, this one is from my past. Okay, better left in the hands of somebody younger. At 66 this year, I'm going a bit smaller. Also because maybe most of you are not ready to make something like this, we're going to make a Dutch tulip vase. Rather complex thing in itself. I've done a number of those in this series. We'll see the finished results in video number 500. But today we're going to do a cheater's version of the Dutch tulip vase. Well, maybe not a cheater's version. Okay, it is a minimalistic, innovative design that may be a bit more simpler for somebody not ready to take on something like this. Let's see what's going on in the studio today. And here it is, the first one finished. Out of nearly 500 videos, I don't think I've ever deleted one. I think I may delete this one. This has worked for me before. I've done these spouts on syrup jugs in a series of syrup jug videos, and where I included tapping maple trees. Well, it was a very nice little spout on this jug. And it's made with a little ball of clay. So maybe they're out of scale. We'll try doing them a little bit smaller on the next one and see if that does it. Now, the way I did that little spout is to make a little ball of clay. Okay, and attach it to the pot and poke a hole through it. So, if making teapot spouts isn't your thing, well, teapot spouts might need a little bit better spout. That might work. Yes, that would work for a teapot. So I think the right proportion of these could be 1 in the center and 5 around. I've seen much less elaborate than the ones from the Netherlands. Okay, some early American Pennsylvania tulip jugs that may have only had 3 spouts, and they were thrown, okay, on a wheel and attached. Now this, okay, I'll show you how I'll put this up to throwing this on the wheel. If that's okay, if you're a hand builder, this can be built by hand. You could mold the top around a balloon, around a styrofoam mold in a bowl. Okay, so the center one's easy. Just put that little ball of clay on there and smooth it into the pot. Sponge. Now the center one is easy because you can go around it like this, but the rest of them are not okay because you have to work around all the other ones. Not quite as easy. So once again, it will work good on a jug that needs to have a spout, maybe a teapot. Okay, maybe a watering can. I've been making flower pots as well. You saw me do those last year. So, okay, let's get the spacing right on each 5. Now this is a rather small. Okay, tulipier, this might be more the size you would use for, okay, crocuses. So maybe it's okay to have a small opening in the spout. And this is really hand building. This is really sculpture, attaching these. the piece that I opened, okay, the video with, was from when I was doing sculpture with extruded clay sewer pipe. And I put a couple videos up, I think, explaining that. Not really. Oh yeah, I did some planters with the material that I used to use for sculpture. Okay, extruded clay chimney pipe, extruded clay industrial sewer pipe, dampened down so that it was after being extruded, before being fired. You know, I think these look better already at this scale. It may be that that first one was just out of scale. Okay, and now we are smoothing it off. This is the same way, speaking of 500 videos, the same way you've seen me attach the feet on my banks, on my pig money boxes. So the same technique I used there, except we didn't poke a hole through them. And what we're doing is making them look like they should be attached to the form. Okay, now the first one with the big holes, you can cut them through by hand with a fettling knife, or get a vegetable corer, a zucchini corer that you may find in a Mediterranean or Middle Eastern kitchen gadget store, food store, for hollow knot zucchini. So I will finish some rather more complex wheel-thrown ones next week. I will do the decorating, okay, the slip trailing, hopefully, in the next video. And then we'll see the final results of the series after that. Okay, so take a sponge and clean it up a bit more. So it may be that the cheater's way of doing it is not for me. That, although I've not hand-built really pottery, but sculpture, the assembling, as I did a couple videos back, and we'll show some more in the next. Okay, the hand building of assembling thrown parts is more the thing for me. And that we want this, before we poke the holes in, to look like a piece of sculpture. Okay, before I do that, I'll show you the throwing. so we have the one back here that I consider a disaster. You know, I don't know. All inspired by Cozy Ceramic Sheila. I don't know how she does it week after week. Okay, some new idea brought to life, and only have been, you know what, the proportions are better on this. The proportions are much better. That may be what the problem was with the first one. It was just too big, okay, to fit the piece. Now, the question is this really big enough to put a flower in? But that was the idea. The idea was to show single individual flowers. Flowers that may have been worth a lot of money. And you know, we want this to be, as I said, a piece of sculpture. Something that when I first saw the early American salt glazed jugs like this, I had no idea what they were, even though it said tulip jug. Okay, I thought, well, is it supposed to look like a tulip? Never could I have imagined it was for putting tulips in. And this one does look sculptural. This one, the proportions are right. Maybe we will leave this video up. Okay, hopefully out of the 500 they weren't all this bad. I think I've got to say I'm happy that I'm selling my pots now. This, I think, you really need time to play with. And I just don't have that now. So I think I am happy to be selling my pots. And you know, maybe Sheila will tell us in the comments if people do actually even use these things. I've found so many pictures of them online, but very few that actually have flowers in them. And of those, very few that actually looked good and were arranged nicely and showing off the flowers beautifully. So it may be one of those cultural identity pots that's not really used. Now my Slovenian pizza pans are used, but and I think the comment, "Oh, they're too pretty to use," has come more from non-Slovenians. However, you know, in the end, I'm starting to think this is not bad. That, in a sense, it's like a frog. Those things you put, what, in the bottom of a vase so that they show them off beautifully, that when you put them in a vase like this, they sometimes tend to flop to one side or open up in the center and hang down over the end. That this actually really does. What did I say at the beginning of the video? Did I just have everybody click out? No wonder I only get 250 views. That I declare it's not going to work at the beginning. And it works beautifully. Okay, kind of like Anthony Bourdain. I'm not going to enjoy this location. There's nothing here that interests me. And always comes out at the end of his travel and food episode with something great. Oh, thank you, Sheila. Oh, this is beautiful. I never had narcissus look so good in a vase before. So if you've got the time to make a tulip vase and you've got just cheap old daffodils growing in your yard, this might work for you too. Okay, stop back and see what's going on in the studio next week.